I had worked as a hospice nurse, and one particular assignment sent me to an old, eerie hospital located approximately 30 miles away from my home. The moment I stepped foot inside, it felt as though I had been transported back in time to the 1950s. The hospital, although well-maintained, had an unmistakable aura of antiquity. Nestled within a farming community, this hospital had also once served as a place where countless lives were ushered into the world. Little did I know that my stay there would expose me to a bone-chilling encounter. It was late in the night when I received the call about my patient's deteriorating condition. Around 3 a.m., I hurriedly made my way towards her room. As I navigated the dimly lit corridors, my eyes caught sight of an older man wearing faded overalls and a worn plaid shirt. He appeared lost and disoriented. Concerned, I approached him and kindly asked if he needed any assistance. However, before I could receive a response, he simply turned his back to me and faded into thin air. A rush of terror engulfed my senses, leaving me shaken to the core. When I finally arrived at the nursing station, one of the nurses immediately noticed the deathly pallor that had swept across my face. She couldn't help but burst into laughter, beckoning the aides to join in on the amusement. It turned out that I had unknowingly encountered old Henry, a spectral figure that everyone at the hospital seemed to be familiar with. With mischievous delight, they proceeded to recount the tragic tale of Henry's life. According to the nurses, when Henry was alive, his daughter had gone into labor at this very hospital. Tragically, both she and her newborn child had lost their lives during the delivery. Upon receiving the devastating news, Henry had been overwhelmed with grief and desperation to reach the hospital in time. In his haste, he ended up in a fatal car accident alongside his wife, losing their lives in the process. Since then, it was believed that Henry's spirit had become tethered to the hospital, forever searching for his departed daughter and grandchild. In an attempt to alleviate Henry's spectral appearances, the nurse guided me to an abandoned room that had once served as the delivery room. There, she showed me a baby doll, explaining that the staff would place it in the room periodically. For reasons unknown, whenever the doll was present, Henry seemed to vanish temporarily. It was a bittersweet remedy, as it highlighted the poignant longing of a soul trapped in limbo, eternally yearning for his lost family. True to the eerie tale, my patient passed away at precisely 8 a.m., confirming Henry's spectral visitation prior to someone's demise. As I reflected upon the experience, a mix of emotions overcame me. The profound sadness of Henry's eternal quest weighed heavily on my heart, reminding me of the unfathomable sorrow that can bind a spirit to the earthly realm. Days turned into weeks, and I found myself drawn back to that old hospital. The presence of Henry and the mysterious stories that surrounded him continued to haunt my thoughts. Determined to learn more about this ghostly figure and perhaps find a way to bring him solace, I began delving deeper into the hospital's history. Through extensive research and conversations with long-standing residents of the farming community, I uncovered additional layers to the haunting tale. It seemed that Henry's daughter, Mary, had been a cherished member of the community, a vibrant young woman with dreams of becoming a teacher. Her unexpected death during childbirth had left the entire town in a state of shock and mourning. The townsfolk recalled how Henry had been devastated by the loss of his daughter and grandchild. He had been a hard-working farmer, a pillar of strength within the community. But after the tragic accident claimed his life and that of his wife, his spirit became forever intertwined with the hospital. Some believe that his unfinished business centered around finding closure and reuniting with his daughter and grandchild. Driven by an unyielding curiosity, I explored the hospital's archives. Dusty boxes filled with faded photographs, weathered patient records, and yellowed newspaper clippings offered glimpses into the past. The hospital, once a thriving hub for life's beginnings, now stood as a testament to the passage of time and the lingering spirits that refused to move on. Among the archives, I stumbled upon an old photograph depicting a group of nurses proudly displaying a newborn baby. The image exuded joy and vitality, a stark contrast to the prevailing sense of sorrow that enveloped the hospital. Intriguingly, the date on the photograph coincided with Mary's ill-fated delivery. Was it possible that this baby held a connection to Henry's search for his lost daughter and grandchild? Driven by intuition, I sought out the retired nurses who had once worked at the hospital during its heyday. They were the key to unraveling the mysteries that shrouded Henry's haunting presence. With their permission, I conducted interviews, eager to piece together the fragmented memories of a bygone era. Gathered around a worn wooden table, the retired nurses shared their recollections, their eyes filled with nostalgia. They spoke of long nights spent comforting expectant mothers, the cries of newborns that filled the air, and the bittersweet moments when life and death intertwined. Among the tales, they too confirmed sightings of old Henry, recounting how his ghostly figure would often manifest itself before a patient's passing. As the conversations unfolded, a common thread emerged, a deep-rooted belief that Henry's spectral visits were not fueled by malevolence, but by an unyielding love that transcended the boundaries of life and death. The nurse's anecdotes painted a portrait of a grieving father who longed to be reunited with his daughter and grandchild, his ethereal presence serving as a harbinger of transition and a guide to the afterlife. Inspired by their stories, I reached out to paranormal investigators and experts in the field of spiritual phenomena. Together, we embarked on a mission to help Henry find the closure he sought. Armed with advanced equipment and a profound respect for the ethereal realm, we set out to unravel the enigma of old Henry and his quest for eternal peace. The investigation took us deep into the bowels of the hospital, where whispers echoed through the desolate corridors. We conducted seances, hoping to establish a line of communication with the otherworldly forces that lingered within those walls. The room that had once been the delivery room, now abandoned and filled with a solemn silence, became our focal point. In the dead of night, surrounded by the remnants of a forgotten era, we placed the baby doll, the conduit that seemed to temporarily subdue Henry's spectral appearances. As we sat in anticipation, a palpable energy enveloped us, crackling with a mix of trepidation and hope. The air grew heavy, and an ethereal chill ran down our spines, signaling that we were not alone. Whispers filled the room, and the temperature plummeted as if Henry's presence loomed ever closer. Shadows danced along the walls, and the doll's glassy eyes seemed to flicker with life. We watched in awe and reverence as the veil between worlds thinned, granting us a glimpse into the ethereal plane. Then, as if guided by an unseen force, the doll's head turned ever so slightly, fixing its gaze upon an old, tattered photograph that lay nearby. The image depicted a radiant Mary, cradling her newborn baby in her arms. It was a moment frozen in time, a testament to the love and joy that once resided within those walls. A surge of emotions washed over me, for in that ephemeral connection between the doll and the photograph, I sensed a glimmer of understanding. It became clear that Henry's quest for his daughter and grandchild was not solely confined to the material realm. It was a quest that transcended time, bound by an unbreakable bond of love and loss. With renewed determination, I reached out to the local community, seeking any surviving relatives of Mary and her child. After months of tireless searching, I managed to locate Mary's distant niece, Rebecca. Her features bore a striking resemblance to the woman in the photograph, a haunting reminder of the family ties that spanned generations. Together, Rebecca and I visited the hospital, standing in the room that had once witnessed Mary's tragic end. We shared stories of love and loss, tears mingling with the echoes of the past. It was a profound moment of closure, as if the ethereal presence of old Henry stood among us, silently acknowledging the reunion. In the years that followed, the hospital underwent a transformation. No longer a mere relic of the past, it became a place of solace and remembrance, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of love. The baby doll that once offered temporary respite for Henry's restless soul found a place of honor, a symbol of healing and a bridge between the realms of the living and the dead. As for old Henry, his spectral visits gradually ceased, his purpose seemingly fulfilled. Some believed that he had finally found the peace he had long sought, while others speculated that his spirit had moved on to reunite with his daughter and grandchild in the realm beyond. To this day, the old hospital stands as a testament to the enduring legacy of love and loss. Its halls no longer echo with the cries of newborns, but they still whisper the stories of those who once walked its corridors. And if you listen closely on a moonlit night, you might catch a faint whisper carried by the wind, a whispered gratitude from old Henry, finally at peace.